Do you want to know how to build self-discipline as a parent? Well, you are not alone. I'm Nicolene Peck, and I teach people all over the world how to build self-discipline in themselves. I teach parenting, family communication, relationship development, all through the lens of self-government, and in this video, we're talking about you. Many parents have a harder time governing themselves than they even do teaching their children self-government. And I know this. People come to me when I speak places and they say, Nicolene, I want my children to have that self-government. I really am going to work on it, but I have this fear that I am going to be the one that has the most difficult time learning self-government. Well, it's totally true. In this video, let's talk about what it takes to actually have self-discipline for ourselves and what we can do to increase our chances of disciplining ourselves better. So what is self-discipline or self-government? Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So as a parent, this means that you say, okay, what is it that I want to accomplish as a parent? I want you to think about that. What do you want your family to be like? Do you have a picture in your mind or certain words that come to mind? In fact, maybe you should come up with a few. What do you want it to feel like at your house? Do you want it to feel like cherish, love, respect, or maybe humble, empowering, strong? What is it that you want your family to feel like? Write down some words. In fact, post them somewhere so that you can remember where you're headed. In my Teaching Self-Government Parenting course, I talk about creating family vision. So we create a 20-year vision. It's a plan where the family all knows which direction that they are headed. Well, not only should we be creating visions as a family group, but we should be creating visions for ourselves individually as well. Where do you want to see you heading? Now, I know that some people who struggle with self-discipline also have a hard time being perfectionistic. So if you are a perfectionist, you know it. Now, you've got to make sure that when you are trying to improve yourself, that you don't allow that perfectionistic tendency to come in and tell you to give up, you didn't do it, it's not good enough yet, you're still struggling. Because self-discipline or self-government isn't about being perfect. I know we want that, but it takes practice to really fine-tune and perfect some of our skills and our behavior. So what we need to do is we need to be a little bit more realistic, even though we have this ideal of self-government or self-discipline, which are great things. We need to say, but I'm not going to get there on day one. Or if I do get there on day one, it might be a honeymoon phase and I'm going to fall into a habit that I don't like on day two. But then I'm going to know how to pull myself out of it and I'm going to keep myself pointed in the same direction. So, who are you? What are your words that are describing what you want to do with your parenting? Do you want to love them, cherish them, nurture them? What are the words? Write those things down and then put them in a place where you'll see them on a regular basis so that when it's that parenting moment and things are falling apart, or maybe you just made a mistake and you've got to fix it, then you say to yourself, accepting, self-governed, loving, redo it. Because sometimes you just have to redo it. That's what it truly does mean to be self-disciplined or to be self-governed. Let's make sure we give ourselves enough of a leeway that we actually can improve. Some people sabotage themselves before they even start, and I know you don't want that. I'm going to give you a recipe for what to do so that you can discipline yourself a little bit better. But before I do, I would sure love to know what types of things are troublesome for you. What seems to happen? I know it's vulnerable, but if you'd like to write it in the comments below, maybe we can chat back and forth a little bit. So what is it that is hard to control about yourself? What bad habit seems to be getting in the way of you becoming the parent that you want to be? So along those lines of analysis, when a person is self-governing, they are in a constant state of self-analysis. So I want you to analyze something about yourself right now. This is going to help you as you are preparing to better control you. What is your number one misbehavior? You know what it is more than anybody else. Sure, you could ask your spouse, you could ask one of your children, But just think, what is your number one misbehavior? What do you do that makes life hard on your family and on your relationships? Now pause this video and write that down. You need to remember that that's your one target area. That's your focus first. There are so many things that we could govern about ourselves, but we've got to start with one thing. So if your one thing is that you're not calm, then let's work on calmness. In fact, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a free gift that's going to help you with your calmness. But maybe your one thing is you exaggerate, or you have a tendency to become too emotional, or maybe you sleep in, or maybe you are a workaholic. If you know that's the problem, then we can start taking steps to fix the problem. That's what it means to truly be self-disciplined or self-governed. You identify the problem, and then you create a pathway to get to a solution that will solve your problem. It may not be immediate, but it's definitely possible, especially as you start out the journey with honesty. So let's talk about how to make a plan for success. So number one is creating the vision of where you're going. So we did a little bit of that, right? Number two is identifying what that thing is that is the problem that you need to overcome. Then let's think of our options. What are our options with that problem? If we are maybe tired a lot, maybe one of our options is go to bed earlier. Maybe another one of our options is take a nap in the day. Or maybe another option is deal with it and try not to think about it. Drop the subject. Don't fill your mind with tired thoughts at all, right? And there may be other options that we have. So each of those options has a disadvantage and an advantage that is connected to it. In fact, there are multiple. So let's take the tired option. Let's say you're tired a lot, and that's the one thing that you have going for you that is making life hard on the family. So option one is that we go to bed earlier. What are the disadvantages of going to bed earlier? Well, maybe we don't get a time to have any downtime to watch a show. Or maybe it's harder for us to calm down in the evening, and so it could take us a little bit longer to fall asleep. Or other things. We could list all of those disadvantages, right? So then what are the disadvantages of taking a nap in the day? Well, it breaks up the day and I might not get as much accomplished in the day, right? That's one disadvantage, but there are many others. Maybe the children might not like waiting for me to take a nap in the day, or maybe I might miss some important meeting if I don't wake up on time because sometimes I don't get up when I take a nap in the day or something like that. In fact, taking a nap in the day, if I go too long, a disadvantage, it could be that I wouldn't be tired at night. Then I've got the problem all over again, right? So what about the option of just dealing with it? Well, the disadvantage is I stay tired, right? I'm going to still be tired and probably will get thoughts about tiredness that I'm going to need to continue to push away. Right? So what are the advantages of all of these situations? So the advantage of option number one, go to bed early, is, well, I definitely have more of a chance of resting at least, even if I don't fall asleep, but probably I'll get more sleep. And that means I'll wake up in the morning more refreshed, I should have more energy, my brain will be more clear, etc., etc. We could list all the advantages. So you could list the advantages of each of those options and then come up with a solution that you think you're going to try. Now here's a warning. You may not be perfect at first, especially when it comes to a sleep habit. Those are hard to break, but habits can be broken, especially if we decide to have a regular checkup time with somebody. So who's going to be your mentor? I know when a lot of people take my Teaching Self-Government Parenting course, they use me as a mentor or some of the mentors that I've trained to help them. And so they talk to me every week and ask me questions or talk to some of the mentors on individual calls, and they get the help they need to keep going. If you don't have somebody to report to, chances are you might not follow through on your goal. So who are you going to report to? Maybe a spouse, maybe a good friend, maybe even a child that's mature enough to hold you responsible, but not ruin the roles relationship in the family. So have a regular meeting with your spouse maybe, and talk about how you're doing on that goal. And after you're done with that one, set a new one and a new plan. Figure out an option to keep yourself moving in a forward direction. And if I could just give you a tip, and that is, when things go wrong, when you fall back into an old habit, accept that it happened. Accept the no answer. Drop the subject about it. Don't beat yourself up. It doesn't work at all. It's counterproductive. productive to being self-governed. Instead, instruct yourself forward, pick yourself up, and do it again. I believe in redos, and I think all parents can benefit from those redos. Now remember, I have a special gift for you. The very fact that you are watching a video right now about improving yourself is inspiring to me, because a person that is that humble to say, how can I control myself better, is in a really good place for change. I'm excited for you, and I would like to help you. I have something called a Calm Parenting Toolkit. It's a mini course to help start people on their road to self-government, and I would like to give it to you for free. There is a link below this video in the description, so click that little button that says see more or whatever, open it up, and in there is a link that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. Click on that link and you can have my Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. Best of luck to you on your self-discipline. Self-government truly is a power that can not only change you and your family, but the entire world. Click on that link now. I'll see you there.